All right. So I actually interviewed Nick with you, who did lead mining. Remember the company Lead Mining?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he took me up on the offer to let me pay him to make calls through DealMachine's dialer instead of his dialer as a test. So we've actually got some hot leads. I'm going to share my screen to show you all of the leads that his caller, who's now been calling for 20 hours, I believe, has generated. So let's go to the dialer and let's look at calls from the past month. All right. So 349 calls made. I'll have to check the hours. It seems a little bit low for 20 hours of calling, but let me go and check the leads. So I need to filter lead status. It would be warm or hot lead, or appointment set would be what I'm looking at. So let's see how many of those are in that category. It looks like 12. And I was talking with one yesterday at Caven Street. And so I actually need to update this lead status because I sent him an offer sent. All right. So we have like 12 to look through, and okay, yeah, the status is offer sent. So if I reload this, now it should only show 11. This contact requested to be texted, so I think that is worthy of being a warm lead. So let's see here. You spoke to my team. Cool. All right, so I texted. We'll leave that one as a warm lead. Let's see here. It looks like, oh, this month, that's just in the month of March. That's tricky. That's why it looked like so few calls, because it's only March 5th. So if you have it set for this month, it's only 5 days so far that it's like counting. So actually, they made 1,159 calls. So 1,159 divided by 20, it's like 57 calls an hour, which still does seem like a little bit slow, but it's not like red flag. They're just, screwing off. They left 318 voicemails, 500 no answers, 41 not interested, and let's see. Yeah, one hot lead, 10 warm leads, and we just kind of went through those. So that is kind of where we're at so far. Do you do cold calling?
I do. Yeah.
How does this compare to your numbers?
I would say they are pretty accurate. Let's go back. Our contact rate is at 26.4. We've left a lot of voicemails. We've had 25 not interested. We've had 17 warm leads.
So yeah, I called the guy on Caven Street, and actually I ended up sending him an offer yesterday that was owner finance. He said he wanted to sell for $100,000. I saw comps for $250, and I assumed like $55 a square foot in repairs, and it was like 1,100 square feet. So I was like 60,000 repairs, ARV 250. He wants 100,000. I was like, man, that might actually be a deal. I said, what are you going to do with the 100,000 if you don't have any plan for it? You're going to actually pay a lot of taxes, like 35,000 in taxes. But why don't we do an owner finance so that you continue to get your rent payments for the next 10 years, even though you have no obligations with the property? And so he seemed keen on that, but I haven't heard from him today. And so he said, I sent it via DocuSign yesterday. So we'll see. He may not be super motivated, but it seemed like he had interest. So
owner finance deals are really good. The only thing you have to watch for is just making sure that there is no early payment penalty. That way, if you want to refinance it, you're not stuck with the seller finance terms.
I was just following up about that call. It sounded like you were asking and you had a price in mind.
I do.
And was that $100,000?
Correct.
Okay, great. Well, we definitely buy houses cash. And I was just checking in with you to see how come you were interested in selling your property.
I just don't need it anymore.
Okay, got it.
I mean, it's not that. Honestly, I'm not that interested in selling it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It's making me money. It's not making me very much money. I'd rather take a lump sum now and be done with it. If not, I'll just keep it and pass it on to my children.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice residual income. So, but I keep getting all these calls. Everybody, I'm sure you've probably already looked into what I paid for the house. So they think, well, he paid this much, so he's not going to want a whole lot, for it. I mean, I got it at a good deal a few years back, and everybody wants to just call me and lowball me. Just so you know, I've been in this business. I used to flip houses myself. And I'm getting old, and I'm retired from that. I gave the business to my son and my daughter-in-law, and since then they've, moved on to other stuff as well. So, it's, I understand what you guys do, and I get these calls frequently, as you could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody wants to offer me, $60,000 or $70,000 for something. If you check the comps in the neighborhood, I'm not out of the neighborhood of what I'm asking for. And as I told you say your partner.
Yep, Amy.
Is that who I talked to?
Yeah, you spoke to Amy.
Okay, as I talked to your partner yesterday, I just told her the same thing, basically. I get tired, and she, never mind. She's, that's what I'm wanting for the house. I don't want 99,000. I'm not looking for 101. I'm looking for 100,000. If you guys are interested, you check out the comp, stuff like that. You'd like to proceed, that's fine. I understand that every one of these offers comes with a back door. So, I'm not interested in every time I get one of these phone calls to go over and scare the hell out of my resident, my tenant.
Oh, okay.
You need to find out whether or not this is truly an offer you're wanting to make. I understand you're going to have a back door, and it's going to say with further inspection, we have the right to, get out of this deal, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not into playing the game. If somebody wants to offer me $100,000 for the house, I think this house is worth $100,000. Two chicks and a hammer have redone 10 houses right in that neighborhood. So, I think the neighborhood's worth it. I think the value of the house is worth it, but I'm not, I have time to talk on the phone, so that's not a big deal, but I don't have the desire to go over and scare the hell out of my resident, or my tenant, excuse me,
Yeah.
sorry.
Hey, it's all good.
I don't want to go over and, scare the hell out of my tenant every time somebody wants to offer me $30,000 or $40,000 or $60,000 for this house,
Right.
I know what it's worth. It's not on sale, it's for sale, and it's not even really for sale, but everybody keeps calling me. So, as you guys fish this direction, I go ahead and, fish back your direction. So, if you are interested and you want to make a serious offer at $100,000, we can go to the next step. But like I said, I'm looking at it, and I definitely, if you're looking to wholesale this house, I'm definitely not interested.
What do you have the, no, I'm not looking to wholesale it actually, but I was curious, what is it currently rented for? Do you know?
Honestly, it's only rented for $700 a month. It's worth I could probably get at least $1,000 to $1,100 a month. There is no garage. It's just a 2-bedroom. The only reason I rent it for $700 a month is because it's the same guy that when I bought the house, I just bought it as an investment. I didn't want to fix this one up and flip it, so I just bought it as residual income. Since then, the guy that lives in there, he's a very elderly man, and he really can't afford much more. So it's not like I need the money. So, I make some money off of not a whole lot, you can imagine, after taxes and insurance. So,
is there any major things like? Is there a foundation issue? Is there water coming in the ceiling somewhere? Anything like that I should be aware of?
It just now got a brand new roof put on it less than a year ago. Had hail damage, so it gave me a new roof and new gutters. It's probably got a pretty old, it's got a pretty old furnace. I've been expecting for it to go out sometime, although I've never done any work to it other than changing the filters. Mm-hmm. It seems to be running, but it does have some age to it. There's no AC. I offered him AC, and he doesn't want AC because he really can't afford it.
Yeah.
to run the AC, so he just doesn't want it. So, He's asked for nothing. He's been a great tenant, so I've tried to keep the rent as low as possible.
Got it.
But what I rent it for doesn't really reflect what it's worth, though, I'll be honest with you.
I gotcha. Is there anything that...
You can't let...
Oh.
Go ahead.
Was there anything that happened recently that like has made you want to consider selling, or are you just saying you've just been getting calls the whole time?
Oh, I've been getting calls the whole time. I get 2 to 3 calls a week. Whether they're repeat phone calls or whatever, they tend to not listen and say, I tell them, look, I want this much. If you want to pay this much, give me a call. I don't know who keeps calling me or why they keep calling me. I don't know if I'm on some handful list or what. They try to buy the house that I live in too, just as well.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sure.
Do you own any other properties, by the way?
I own both properties, the one I live in and that one. So.
Okay, and is that nearby?
Is what nearby?
Where you live.
It's about 15 miles away.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Are you managing the property yourself?
I am.
Got it.
Although, like I said, the man doesn't ask for anything. I haven't put I haven't put much into it, since I bought it. The new sump pump, filters, what else? I fixed the sink in the kitchen. I will tell you, like I said, it needs a new furnace. It's going to need a new furnace. I mean, if you're flipping it, it's going to need a furnace. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't sell that old furnace in there, but
yeah.
But like I said, it works fine. The guy's, hasn't had any problems with it since he's moved in. The kitchen's in pretty rough shape. It was just kind of like, I don't know, it was built badly, I should say. And the bathroom has had some water damage through the ceiling and stuff like that before the new roof was put on it.
Got it.
So you're gonna have to redo the kitchen, redo the bathroom. There's gonna be some cracks in the plaster and stuff like that throughout the house, and repainted, recarpeted, that kind of thing. So just your normal repairs, basically.
I got it. Did you say I know you said if you didn't sell it, you'd end up passing it on to your kids, right?
Correct.
But then did you also say that they were in the business, but they wanted to get away from the rental real estate business?
Yeah, they've actually gotten out of it. They've, they own a couple of houses themselves, and they're no longer rehabbing.
Got it. How come they got out of it?
Honestly, just the market kind of got bad. It was hard to sell a house, and my son and daughter-in-law got better off for different jobs. So. Got
it. Well, good for them. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe they actually got out of it, but their jobs are much better now. So.
Just curious. I'm running the numbers, and I know you're asking for $100,000, and if there were no surprises, that could work. I'm certainly sensitive to. I don't want to make you an offer and then say, oh, it won't work out if my contractor goes in.
Yeah, right, and I appreciate that. I'm not looking to, I'm not looking to show this to anybody who's not serious.
Would you? Well, yeah, no.
That's why I'm trying to tell you what all needs.
Right.
What it truly needs.
Would you be? In order to maybe loosen it up a little bit for me, would you be interested or open to an owner financing offer? Or could I make you 2 offers, one cash, one owner finance? Would you be open to that?
What do you mean by an owner finance?
Owner finance means you could sell me the house for $100,000, but instead of giving you all the $100,000 cash right now, and then you having to pay taxes on 30% of that in 2025, I actually just make payments to you as if you were the bank.
I'd be willing to look at an offer.
All right, great. I'll definitely put that together then as an option. And like I said, unless you had a plan for the money, it's a great way to protect you from
I really don't.
big chunk of taxes.
It does sound like a good way to protect me. So,
Okay.
And that's basically what I'm trying to avoid
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid giving the money, giving my house away to the government if I die or something like that. They come in, they want too much, and it's, inheritance taxes, that kind of stuff. I'm not sure how
Right.
it works.
Yeah, it's a great option. I'll put that together for you. Would you prefer to receive it in person, or would you receive it electronically if when I send the offer today?
I would prefer to receive it in person by mail or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not in Indianapolis today, but I have several. My assistant China could come in and give that to you in person. We could chat over the phone. You could meet her if you'd like.
Okay, that's fine.
Anything else?
You know what? You can just send it by email if you want, but I need to know the email's coming. I'm 60 years old and I don't pay any attention to emails and stuff like that. Got an email account, but unless somebody tells me I need to read it, I don't.
No, I got you. That's why I thought maybe in person would be nice. But you said you live 50 miles away though from Indianapolis, right?
No, I'm right here in Greenwood.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood you then.
15 miles away from the house that I live in, or that I'm selling.
Oh, I got you.
That you're
Okay.
looking to buy.
Yeah. What's your best email?
At yahoo.com.
Okay, thanks, Bill. My name's David. I'll be getting in touch with you once I've emailed that, so that way you know to go and check your email.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
Yes. Talk to you soon, Bill. Thank you. You're welcome.
You have a good day.
You too. Bye. So let me check. That was William E. I'm always curious. Oh, look, we had his email right there. I didn't even have to ask. Good job, DealMachine. So there you go. And he's 60 years old. Look at that. We were accurate on his year of birth as well. So, and he does show one more property. That's the same one twice. So yeah, never mind. Accurate as well. So Carlton, thanks. Glad you guys like that. Let me see. So you saw me taking notes there. I was just kind of analyzing that deal, and those are hopefully I was showing you guys like what I was looking at here. So, I didn't go in depth, but I saw evidence that there was an after repair value of $220,000, and then 25% of that would be minus. Sorry, guys, close that. Let me get that back up. So if you go into the activity, what I was going to show you guys was the AI changed the status to warm lead because we obviously talked about doing a deal. I was doing this note because this is how I was analyzing it. 220 minus 25% is 160. $55 per square foot. That's typically like what I use. If it needs carpet and paint, I do 15 per square foot. If it needs kitchens and bathrooms as well, I do 35. And if it needs kitchens, bathrooms, carpet, paint, and like a roof and mechanicals, I do 55. And he said it just had a roof, but I still kept it at 55 because that was just like an older house that had plaster, right? So it's like definitely going to have some higher expense, I think. So I'll just take the roof off, but just add in extra expense. And so this one I did 30. That would have been more safe to use 30%. I use 25%. And now I'll be sending him a contract, though I'll save that for after the call. But this is a QR code that you could just use this. I use this simple 3-page contract in Indianapolis because the realtor one is like 20 pages long. And usually when somebody's in distress, I feel that it's more likely they'll accept yes if it is in plain, like simple language. So, and you really only need 5 things to like close a deal. You need an address, a buyer, a seller, a price, and a closing date. So that's the QR code to my contract that I'll be sending him, and would love to open it up for any questions specifically on the software or just finding the deal in general would be great too. So I'll open it up for you guys. Feel free to unmute. That would be really fun.
David, that was phenomenal.
Thanks.
You get one person on the call, and then you get one property. My goodness.
Well, and just for, I mean, I had him because I have a VA dialing. So that was a follow up I saw come through yesterday. So I was like, oh, I'm going to wait, follow up on the webinar. That'll be fun. Thanks. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, though.
Well, what a fantastic deal. So we do have some questions for you. So in the Q&A, you guys see at the very bottom of the Q&A, there's 2 questions still on there. So I went through, there was a ton of questions. So I went through, if you have not read through the questions, because Dave was going through such great stuff on DealMachine, but I answered some questions, good amount of questions in there. But we have some more questions. So you can go back and read the answered questions, but we have a couple more for David specifically about the using of, well, one, Carlton's VA is in the Philippines. Will he be able to use DealMachine to make calls remotely?
You can log into the DealMachine website from anywhere. The mobile app just isn't available, but they don't use the mobile app to make calls. So your VA can use it anywhere in the world. Yep. They don't need a VPN either, J-Rod. So they can use DealMachine.
That was the other question.
Yeah.
Do VAs in other countries need VPNs? So that's awesome.
Yeah. Mick says, how much is the calling tool? So DealMachine, it gives you access to, having that 60,000 leads in your system, managing all that, being able to pull that. That's what you're paying for with the DealMachine Pro. And if you want to make phone calls or send mail, that's an extra fee. So the mail is like 62 cents per postcard, and the dialing is 6 cents per minute. If you are going to do over 1,000 calls per month, you could just get the $99 add-on, which is unlimited calling for the month. And that was what the $99 add-on was, Mick.
Awesome. Another question. In your experience, what are the best filters to find deals?
Yes. I really love property filters that show distress. And driving for dollars is always the best one, but it's pretty time consuming. You have to go around and look for those rundown houses. So I recommend instead filtering down as many filters as you can to match your criteria, and then using AI to pick out the distressed looking properties for you. Or you could use what the county assessor has given a building condition rating of like fair or poor. And that was another thing that I did in place of driving around myself. So I would always recommend starting with physical signs of distress on the property. And then of course, the other one with the best deal I showed you at the very beginning was a tax delinquent property owner. So that's another set of filters that I would also do separately from if the property looks distressed or not.
So what if you want to keep asking questions, go ahead and do that. We got one more that we're going to bring Russ on. So last question that we have here, but if you want to keep asking more, please go ahead. How many numbers do you get with DealMachine? Pete's already using Ready Mode. Not sure what that is, but anyway.
Yeah.
How do you transfer numbers from DealMachine to Ready Mode?
Got it. So the great thing about the DealMachine dialer is it manages all the numbers for you behind the scenes. So when I called somebody with a 317 phone number, it's going to actually call out from a number that starts with 317. And when I make another call to somebody with a Colorado area code, that outgoing call is going to go from a call that matches their area code. And so it's managing all that behind the scenes. You don't actually have to set any numbers up. And so there's not like a limit of numbers that you have, just the more different area codes you call, the more numbers it will bring into your pool of numbers. Now, every single day, we make sure your phone doesn't show as spam. So when you call out and it shows as spam, people don't answer those calls. So we monitor those numbers by test calling ourselves and making sure it doesn't call as spam using your number. A couple other things we do is we extend your average call duration by having the automated AI voicemail. So we didn't get to show that, but if somebody went to voicemail, I could press a button. It would leave a voicemail that sounds like me, personalized to that property owner, address, and first name. And so a voicemail counts as a call connection and also a longer call duration, which are the two key metrics phone companies use to like label stuff as spam. So that's why with all those multi-line dialers, a lot of those numbers show as spam quickly because they're always hanging up on people. So the phone companies want to eliminate spam. So they'd say, hey, if this number has really high number of short duration calls and low connection rate, because it's using a multi-line dialer, I'm going to label that thing as spam. So our dialer, it gets around it using those three techniques to get you that high contact rate.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.